It has not. Oh wow! Why didn't you tell me quick? Oh, stop that! All right. So welcome to Precious Inu TV. It's always a delight to be with you, and thank you so much for joining us. Barrister Darlington, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining me.
Good afternoon.
So I thought for us to bring some things to the fore. Of course, you already know what's going on in the country. First is the incident of the funding of USAID, the funding by USAID or USAID, as would call it. So today it was revealed today. In fact, what's his name? David Hundeyin has been following up stories and alerting to how the Western world, especially the United States, may have been responsible for the underdevelopment of Africa and the troubles in some parts of the world. And this investigation almost was proven today to be about true with the revelation by a U.S. Congressman, one Scott Perry, we can come out, can talk, say, as they investigate the bad things for Elon Musk office through the Office of Good Governance and Efficiency. They investigate the things the way they carry government money do. Now they come find and say the U.S. government under the administration of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, be they spend money to the tune of over $690 million, where they use every year. $690 million every year, where did they use fund Boko Haram, ISIS, and other terrorist organizations? Barrister Darlington, allow me to put mouth for this matter.
Yeah, Precious.
Yes, sir.
I am not surprised.
Why, sir?
You know, the colonial masters are not done with Africa yet.
Oh, wow.
They are not done with Africa because of the type of leaders we have. They are now enslaving us through our leaders. They choose those who can play ball with them and then do business with them to the detriment of Africans or Nigerians and the economy. This thing they are telling you now, please, can you mention any other Western country where they are playing this game? It can't happen. It's always in Africa because you need aid. You need aid for everything. You need aid for malaria. You need aid for typhoid. You need aid to even eat food. You need aid to conduct election. You need aid for everything. So you think the man that is paying you this, giving you this money, he will not dictate the tune. He will dictate the tune, no. So that's why when they give you all these days, some of us who have insight will tell you this doesn't come.
So you feel that because of the AIDS they wanted to give us, now make this kind of thing they happen?
Of course.
How?
I just ask you here, can they do it in China? Can they do it in India? So you have become a weak government. Your economy, your government, they are weak. And so somebody is lashing on it. Yes, if we have a strong economy and a good leadership, they won't even come close. They won't come close. I said, mention any other Western country where this US is doing this thing. They can't go there. It's not possible.
So Barrister Darlington, this is a very, very serious matter because whether we like them or not, this thing gets implications. You understand?
Of course.
In fact, make we just quickly go play a video of where the US Congressman talk the thing, make you understand exactly what's in talk, and then we'll go back to speaking about the implication of this matter because it would be very important to make we understand and get a perspective to the conversation. Make country people also see and see the video and watch them by themselves so that they can make their own decision. So let's see if I can get that video. Is it playing? Yes.
Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door. USAID spent $840 million in the last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school. Yeah, they can't attend it because it doesn't exist. You paid for it. Somebody else got the money. You are paying for terrorism. This has got to end. I yield, Mr. Chairman. Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan.
Waiting this tell, especially in the aspect of the sponsorship of Boko Haram, we don't the ravagers, and understanding say Barack Obama a black president to come support this kind of thing against his own black people.
My dear, when it comes to country's interests, anything can be taken down just for the sake of your country's interests. Remember when they entered the Pakistan to take down Osama bin Laden?
Yes. I never even talk of Syria here now.
Good. They broke all international law. America broke it just to get this man. It's like an invasion. They invaded Pakistan. And so when you have power, your might is right too. In international diplomacy, might is right. If you have that, power, you can get away with so many things and nothing will happen. That's the truth. So I wasn't surprised when this thing came up, because over the years, there have been, series of revelations about how America is funding terrorism all over the world.
So Barrister Darlington,
they used Osama bin Laden when they were fighting, what is it called now? When they were fighting in Afghanistan.
Okay. Saddam Hussein them and all those cases.
They were the one that raised them. And when they are done, they now decimated them. So that's what they do, America. That's what they do. They were the one that raised Saddam Hussein when they were fighting Iran.
So Barrister Darlington, in a recent interview, they asked the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, about why in things say terrorism they persist for inside Nigeria. 10 to 15 years now, we've done the struggle, the fight of terrorism. And within these years, security don't top our budgets for inside the country. But this thing no one stop. If they waiting to answer the Al Jazeera presenter, we tell them. And make we go here waiting to answer the Al Jazeera presenter, because it is very, very important. It tell the Al Jazeera presenter something we get to do with international funding. And it can't be like, say, this thing where they happen now, don't confirm that's in when talk. Maybe could it be the reason why Nigeria is helpless in the fight of terrorism? Let's get to see that video.
Force. I wonder, in your mind, whether any of this may have strengthened your enemy. We've talked about a period of 15 long years here. We've talked about playing an almighty game of catch-up. But in the meantime, we've seen Boko Haram regroup and regroup and regroup. What is your answer to that? That you have in some way fed the insurgents?
The problem is that I think we've talked to the international community. Let's find out the funding. When they started surrendering, by the time we left, so as we speak, we have over 120,000 that have surrendered. Most of them, when you find them, they are coming with hard currencies. How did they get them? How are they funded? How did they get the training? How did they get the equipment?
What is your suspicion?
Well, maybe an international conspiracy. You don't know. Who knows? How are they be able to sustain themselves for 15 years? That is one question I think everybody should ask himself. For Nigeria to be able to hold them, and you go to Nigeria, everything seems to be working well.
You must have an idea. I mean, let's not talk about international conspiracy theories. Let's give some hard facts.
Well, I just leave it at that. I'm sure they know, and I'm sure everybody knows that these are the challenges we're facing that needs to be addressed. So the UN need to come in to ensure that, because we need to trace the funding. How are they sustaining themselves for 15 years?
What does the UN coming in mean? What does that look like?
Track the funding. It's international flow. We don't have control over that.
Of course. I wonder, in your mind, whether any of this may have strengthened your enemy. We've talked about a period of 15 long years here. We've talked about playing an almighty game of catch-up. But in the meantime, we've seen Boko Haram regroup.